So, Donna is really lovely. So every time she comes to visit us on these Sundays, she provides an opening words and closing words, and I sometimes forget to use them. But this one I really liked. Eckhart Tolle. That didn't sound right, did it? George, cut the recording. Let's start over. Just kidding. Improvisation. Eckhart Tolle. Humanity is now faced with a stark choice: evolve or die. If the structures of the human mind remain unchanged, we will always end up recreating the same world, the same evils, the same dysfunction. With this in mind, please welcome Reverend Donna Smith, who will share her thoughts on recreating Earth. Come on up.
Thank you, Sally.
You're welcome.
Yes. Ooh, good morning. I feel so tall. And I don't normally feel tall, right? But it's great. Well, it's good to see all of you. Happy Father's Day. And we got to see a few out this morning. That was a joy for us. And Lois, my friend, came with me this morning. And I have to say, I'm up here. You guys, when you sing, are awesome. I mean, awesome. You're like a choir. And so I appreciate that very much. Yes. Well, this morning I want to talk to you about recreating Earth. And I feel like I'm preaching to the choir because you all do so much to help Mother Earth. But there's some things that we need to remember. Hubert Reeves said, "Man is the most insane species. He worships an invisible God and slaughters a visible nature without realizing that the nature he slaughters is this invisible God he worships." Powerful. And the Native American proverb, a Native American proverb says, "Treat the earth well. We do not inherit the earth from our ancestors. We borrow it from our children." Powerful, aren't they? Yes, I had to share those with you this morning. You know, and our ancient ancestors knew about the oneness of life. The sacred geometry called the flower of life represents the basic geometry of life, and this is exactly what it looks like. Isn't that beautiful? And you can see this in all living things. All living things is part of this sacred geometry. All the laws of nature can be derived directly from this sacred geometry. And literally all the information of the reality and light is in this sacred geometry. Now, this symbol has been found all over the world, in ancient temples and in all kinds of structures, all over the world. So something was going on there, don't you think? And I want to remind us that this is a holographic universe. What that means is the whole is found in its entirety at every point in space. I like to think that you are the universe, you are the universe, you are the universe, I am the universe, and it's a wonderful thought. Drunvalo Melchizedek writes in his book, The Ancient Secret of the Flower of Life, that when we understand the oneness of life, he says, it will begin to change the way you see the world you live in. It will become clear that your body is the measuring stick or the holographic image of the universe, and that you, the spirit, plays a more important role in life than society has taught us. Our relationship with Mother Earth is consciousness. When you are of the same consciousness with another, there's harmony, and we feel that harmony. And if not, there's disharmony, and we feel that disharmony. The collective consciousness of humanity at this time is not in harmony with that of Mother Earth. And we are experiencing great disharmony within our lives. because of that relationship. And this disharmony is an outpicturing as the upheaval in our lives that humans are experiencing right now. And it also outpictures in the violences that are occurring in nature, the tsunamis, the earthquakes, all of those things. So we are consciousness, pure awareness. That's who we truly are, even though we're having this wonderful experience as a body. Our physicality is an experience. It is not who we are, just as we are not our thoughts. We have our thoughts, but we're not our thoughts. And within consciousness, this beautiful thing that we truly are is content. Content is composed of our opinions, our beliefs, our agreements that we have, and our points of view. All of those are not who we are. Those are what we have. As an analogy, if you look at the ocean as consciousness, all of the fish, the plankton, and all of the organisms in that ocean are just content. Now, Mother Earth is a sentient being with a very high consciousness. And the world is content. The world is content. It is a reflection of the collective points of views, opinions, agreements, and everything that we make. But it is still content. Okay? And the world changes when we change our consciousness and our points of view and all of those things. This is a very important thing to understand because this is where our power is. If we want to change the world, we have to know how to do that. Well, it starts right here with each and every one of us, because the more of us that change our consciousness and the collective changes, then we see the changes in the world that we want to see. So we have moved from a great respect for Gaia, another name for our Mother Earth, as our ancestors had for thousands of years, to a consciousness of disconnect with her. We have forgotten our oneness with Mother Earth and with all the other species that live with us, who we rely on so much for our existence. So this movement has brought about a great fear, a belief in lack, leading to greed, overconsumption of Earth's resources, and a disrespect for other life forms on our planet. Now this is changing. This is changing as we finally are realizing this interconnectedness of life. Unitarians know this, and it is reflected in one of our principles: respect for the interdependent web of all existence of which we are a part. That is a very powerful principle, and it leads to harmony in our lives when we know what that means and we follow it. Right now, we are in a period of great chaos. Now, the chaos before the new paradigm, as I've shared with you before, is necessary. But it can be very painful. The collective consciousness is rising as more and more people are beginning to understand what oneness means. And that's a difficult thing to understand when we have separate bodies and we're taking care of ourselves and not thinking about others. That oneness is, you might believe in it, but it's a hard thing to experience. Some will choose to leave the planet in this period of transformation, and that's okay, because we all do choose to be here, and everything is a choice. So those that are here that have chosen to stay are here to change our consciousness, because in my opinion, all things are possible, so we can have the world we want if we change our consciousness and keep that goal in mind. So, as I said, chaos can be painful. But in the chaos, you're going to find that there's lots of fear still. There's still upheaval, insanity, and tearing away of the belief systems and institutions that we have created. Drumvalo says, Most of the prophets and the indigenous peoples of the world see a great change coming to earth and to mankind. We see this change ultimately and specifically in a planetary dimensional shift into a new level of existence associated with a change of consciousness into Christ or unity consciousness, whatever you want to call it. So this great change is the movement into that higher dimension. And some of the things that are happening, geomagnetic fields begin to weaken. Science knows that this field has been dropping in the last 2,000 years. And in the last 500 years, it has been dropping more dramatically. As we approach the great change, this means the geomagnetic fields go crazy, and all the species on the planet are affected in what seems like craziness because it affects our emotions. I don't know about you, but I've seen a lot of craziness in the last few years, things that don't make any sense. And I have to keep reminding myself, insanity to an insane person looks sane. You know, so that helps kind of with the understanding. But there is a lot of craziness going on. Our DNA is changing from a carbon-based to a crystalline-based. And what that means is that we become lighter. We let more light in. And we begin to express more light, which is who we truly are. And when this happens, and it is happening, it also brings along some discomfort. So you're going to be experiencing these symptoms along with it, but it's good, you know. And once we get through it, you know, things are going to be so much lighter, and we're going to see things in a different way. Mother Earth's vibrational frequency is rising. For many, many thousands of years, it's been 7.83 hertz. And the Schumann resonance scale now shows that it's around 16.5. And it has been spiking up to 68 was the number that I saw last. Just spiking at different times when things are happening here. So that is a definite sign that Mother Earth is raising her vibration. And remember, she is a sentient being just like us. So she is moving into the 5th dimension. And she is wanting us to go with her. And there are a lot of people that are in that great fear, and they're having a hard time with this shift in vibration because it can be difficult if you don't want to go. And however, as I said before, they can also choose to leave, and that's okay too, you know, because we never die. We just go somewhere else and find some more things to do. I love that. So Nikola Tesla said, our entire biological system, the brain and the earth itself, work on the same frequencies. However, we live in the time of technology with superficial wavelengths that disrupt the natural Earth's electromagnetic frequency. And so that's what's happening with a lot of our disharmony and our dis-ease. The Way of Mastery reads, for the time comes quickly when this planet will not be willing to tolerate untidy house guests that are not willing to vibrate at the frequency of being toward which the planet herself is preparing to move. Therefore, be not caught by coming home one day and discovering that the landlord has changed the locks and you have not a place to rest your head. I love that. So research shows that as spiritual beings merged with human bodies when we were born, this consciousness and this energetic makeup of the earth, we came together in unity at that time. To stay in sync with the planetary composition and the frequencies, the human body actually has an autocorrect system that can recalibrate to the environment when needed. But when the auric field of a human is not in sync, it is difficult on all levels of our being, our emotional, our mental, our spiritual, our etheric. And we get into this disharmony. That's why I talk so much about raising our consciousness and staying in harmony with this vibration. It is so important, so very important. So the goal is to transform the dense, controlling reality we are experiencing in a way that unifies humanity in a love-based higher consciousness while still existing in the physical body. And we can do this. We don't have to die in the physical to reach those kinds of consciousnesses. In fact, there are people walking this earth right now at these very, very high consciousness levels that are keeping us from destroying the world. They counteract those lower levels of consciousness and keep us from doing that. David Hawkins is who I'm bringing to mind, The Power versus Force. Great book. I really, really suggest that you read that. So how to acclimate the body to accept the higher frequencies? Well, there are many ways, and here are just a few, but letting go of the past, forgiveness, the hardest thing for a human being to do, it seems. But it is the way to freedom. It is the way to freedom. Meditation or some kind of contemplation. I can see myself if I lived here just sitting by that ocean all the time, getting absolutely nothing else done. Grounding on the earth. Okay, when I come here, I take my shoes off and walk on the sand, even if it's raining, because that connection is very powerful and very healthy for us. And we tend to, cover our feet with plastic and leather and all kinds of things, and we don't get that connection. And then guidance, go to your higher self. Your guidance is always there. It's going to help you get through everything. And, of course, those that take my class, loving yourself. Major, major. And caring for your body. So what does all of this mean for us? Well, we are in the great change right now. Knowledge is power. So the more we know about what is happening to Mother Earth, the more we will understand what is happening to us with that connection. So right now, these changes are causing many humans to go crazy, as we just talked about, and to lose their sense of compassion and reason. Our intention is to understand what is going on, do the things that will help us increase our consciousness and be of service and to help Mother Earth and humanity go through these changes, because they are going to happen, they are happening, there's nothing to stop them. So I would like us to all just go on that ride and go, higher and higher and get the bliss that comes from those higher levels of consciousness. Here's some facts. Okay, this is not to scare you, this is information, okay? All right, because again, knowledge is power. If the bees disappeared off the surface of the globe, then humanity would have only 4 years of life left. No more bees, no more pollination, no more plants, no more animals, no more man. That was from Einstein. Deepak Chopra says that if we succeed in killing all of the insects in the world, in 5 years there'd be no life on Earth, including humans. If we succeeded in killing all of the humans on the Earth, in 5 years this place would be teeming with life. So what does that say to us, Puts it in perspective, doesn't it? The cost of our success is the exhaustion of natural resources leading to energy crisis, climate change, pollution, and the destruction of our habitat. These are the words of Christian de Duve. If we continue in the same direction, humankind is headed for some frightful ordeals, if not extinction. Bruce Lipton says that there's been all kinds of extinctions in the world. This is the first one that's been human-caused, this one that we're in right now. Plastics have been mass-produced since around 1950, a staggering 18 trillion pounds. While we can't undo the production, we can limit more plastic from being made and ending up in the oceans. Over 1 million marine animals are killed each year due to plastic debris. It's estimated that 90.5% of the amount of plastic waste ever made has never been recycled, and it's estimated at 6,300 million metric tons. That's scary. If present trends continue, by 2050, there will be 12 billion metric tons of plastic in landfills. That amount is 35,000 times as heavy as the Empire State Building. Of the more than 80,000 chemicals used in the U.S., most haven't been adequately tested for their impact on human health, much less on the health of children or Mother Earth, or any of the other species on this earth. So again, that's not to scare you, that's to say, woo, we're going to do something here now. We need to do something. There are 7 different types of pollution: water, air, soil, thermal, radioactive, noise, and light. All forms of pollution are caused by humans. So I encourage you to research these forms of pollutions, because they have all kinds of, ideas about how we can help with that. And I just want to read, there is this list of items, how long they take to decompose. That's really scary, very scary. But those that do not biodegrade are foil, tinfoil, and styrofoam. I've been asking places where I go that have the styrofoam, please reconsider. Please reconsider. Now, most importantly, don't ever think that you won't make a difference. Greg Braden and Lynn McTaggart's work with holding intentions have shown that it only takes the square root of 1% of any population to make a material effect on that population. Okay, if there are 9 billion people on the earth, that equals 9,486 people can come together and make a difference. Can we do that today? Yes, especially with our internet and all that things. We come together in groups that way a lot. Margaret Mead said, "Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has." So awareness is the greatest agent for change. So raise your consciousness to that of love and compassion and and caring for Mother Earth. That's all we have to do. Because when you raise your consciousness, guess what? All your answers are right there for you. They just come to you because you're at a higher level of consciousness. And that's the way it works. Be conscious of the fact that we can't throw things away, okay? There is no away. We're living in this planet. It's like we have this other planet to go to if we mess this one up, but we don't. We don't. We just bury our trash, or we move it around, or we throw it in the ocean, or even on the land. But we have to remember that there is no way, and we have to have some different solutions for that. And I think the greatest disservice is that many just disregard that and don't think about it. Become knowledgeable on how you can help in the 7 areas of pollution, as I said before, especially through the recycling, the repurposing, and the reusing, which I think some of us are really getting good at. Yeah, I like that. And there are so many other ways that we can help, and I know you know a lot of those ways, and I know that you do this. And I think it's part of our purpose here is also to educate others and keep this going, because we are creative beings, as I was talking with you last month about. And we can do this. We can do this. We can turn everything around. And Mother Earth is already doing her part by raising her consciousness, and she's really asking us to come along, because it's going to be a wonderful ride, actually. Get through that little painful part maybe, but it's going to be a wonderful ride. And so collectively and individually, which is where it all starts, individually, okay, we have created the world the way it is today. and we are the ones that must make the changes. Nobody else. There's nobody else to do it but us. And Greg Braden says to us that, and I've shared this with you last time even, we already have all the solutions, all the technological solutions to the biggest problems that we face as individuals, communities, and nations. He says we still have the opportunity to create a healthy future by defining the values that we cherish before we implement solutions that cause irreversible harm to us and to our planet. It's already here. When we decide that these answers are more important than the bottom line, and we focus on well-being, we will flourish, and every person will be a part of that abundance and that progress. So the old world is crumbling, whether we like it or not, because what we have created doesn't work. If it worked, we wouldn't be where we are right now. It's time to construct a new world, keeping in mind the lessons that we have learned from the past, and to realize what doesn't work anymore, and have the courage to do the change that's necessary. Because just, having that safety in staying within the box is just not going to work anymore. And it's going to be necessary for our survival. That's the bottom line right there. Now, I've shared these words with you before. I love these words. They're very powerful words, and they're from Wayne Dyer. Change the way you look at things, and the things you look at change. Just think about those words. We can do that with this problem that we're having. Okay? Change from, bottom line to caring for people, for Mother Earth, and for all of the living beings that inhabit this beautiful place. So I want to close with the Cree Indian prophecy. Only after the last tree has been cut down, only after the last river has been poisoned, only after the last fish has been caught, only then will we find that money cannot be eaten. I think that's a really good prophecy. All right. Shall we do a little bit of meditation? All right. So let's all get very comfortable in our chairs. Let them support you. Take that deep breath. Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. That activates nitric oxide, and that's good for us. And from this relaxed place, think of someone or something that brings you genuine feelings of joy and love. So much so that you can't help but just smile. And when you reach that place, you have come into heart-brain coherence. And here is your wisdom center. Here is where you find peace, where you find joy and love every time you go there. So just breathe in this place. Today is Father's Day. So today we bless and give heartfelt thanks to our fathers and the fatherly figures in our lives. Fatherhood can be very challenging and yet very rewarding. Their protection, their presence, their wise guidance, and their caring instructions and teachings have helped make us who we are today. So I invite you to breathe into your heart the following blessing. I bless my father and those who shared a father's love and care with thoughts and prayers of appreciation for my memories throughout the seasons of my life. Through good times and bad, I see the divine expressing through my father and the men who have shown me fatherly love. I forgive anything and everything that may need forgiven and free us to move forward in love and appreciation. So let's go into the silence for just a moment as you feel what those words mean to you. So together, we send these blessings of love and gratitude to those father figures who are here with us and those who have moved beyond this realm, knowing they are still with us in spirit and that they do hear our blessings and they still feel our love. Let's take another deep breath and bring our attention back into this beautiful sanctuary. Oh, yeah. Well, today I invite you to class. We're going to visit an old friend. I think this old friend's teachings are very appropriate for this time in our lives and our existence here on Mother Earth. It's the 4 agreements. Yeah, Don Miguel Ruiz. So I hope you will join me. Thank you so much for your attention. I love coming here. I love seeing all of you. It's wonderful.